on this episode of the Loc'D podcast.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's the end of the day, so I'm ready to chill. Sac State is really cool. Appearance-wise, it's pretty beautiful. It's like got a lot of green, a lot of trees. It's like a very foresty kind of vibe.
Like I said, a lot of the classes that I had didn't really have me excited, except for PE.
Things may seem bad now, but they can get so much worse and so much better. So you just kind of have to keep going, keep trucking. As dark as it may seem now, it's going to be a much brighter in the future. Funnily enough, I actually didn't start out as a film major. I started out as a bio major because I wanted to be a veterinarian. I don't know if someone's asked you this yet, but what has been like your favorite part about doing this podcast so far? Like, what have you gained from it? Always stay locked in.
Always stay locked in.
You are now watching the Loc'D podcast. Hope you enjoy it, man. Y'all make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Hey, man, hit the bell for more. And we hope that you enjoy it. Let us know what you want next. Again, appreciate it. Love y'all. Stay locked in, man.
So y'all, this is what we have to do right now because I was supposed to actually do a podcast episode with Jordan today in the studio, but the thing is, it's like y'all know the politics. They said that we can't really do anything. We really can't be in the studio anymore after hours, and so, like I said, we thought of some alternatives, and so I just thought Instagram Live would be probably the best one. And so, like I said, I'm out here out here by the if y'all see Penland, and yeah, with that being said, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's the end of the day, so I'm ready to chill. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Like I said, it's been a long day, but we're making it. I can't complain.
Exactly. Like good to do.
Right. So podcast, this is one of my friends, cool, one of the coolest people I know. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of feel weird doing it without the microphone and everything, but it's all good. Yeah, so I must ask you, because this is what we normally start doing. So what is your high school mascot, and where did you go to high school?
Yeah, so I went to River City High School in West Sacramento, California, and their mascot was the Raiders.
Raiders. Okay. So everyone knows this, but I went to school at Lexington and I went to school at Butler, and they both were Bulldogs and one was a Wildcat. How was your high school experience like?
Oof. Average, I guess. Personally, I didn't really like high school, so it wasn't all that fun to me. But there was like some good moments. There was some like enjoyable parts, but most of it I was like, I'm ready to get out of here. I want to go to college. I'm done with this. It was all right. It was all right.
Yeah. As I stated in the last episode, I was like, it was just weird. It just seemed weird that my high school experience when I was at Lexington, it was kind of like different.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to Butler my 12th grade year, and it was all like fun and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Butler was really like probably the greatest experience I've had in high school. Really, even like I said, I've had friends at Lexington. I knew more people at Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, man, honestly, I could not really, experience it the way that I would love to, as much as I did for Butler.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? It was amazing. It was very amazing though. So did you do anything in high school? Like, what was something that you attended high school? Like, was there anything like, because I know you're a video editor, you went to videography. We'll talk about that later. Was there anything that kind of built that point up to where you wanted to do like videography from high school? Or
Kind of, yeah. so I did like a bunch of like random stuff in high school. As far as like film and videography, I did take some film classes. I took like a beginner's film class, and then I took a video journalism class where I got to like run my school's like kind of like news station essentially with a bunch of other students for a semester. And then I also took theater, drama club, and then all those I think eventually tied into the career that I have now, which is film production. So I did do a lot of that stuff, and there were some outliers. Like I did like a writing club. I joined like an ASL, American Sign Language club. Did a couple science-related activities. So I was all over the place, but looking back, it was mostly like art stuff. Mostly art.
That's good. I think I never mentioned this, but like in high school with me, I was really more like, I was kind of like, you know, not really wanting to do much. I had a lot of people saying that I should join track, and also I had people saying I should have done football when I was in because I did it in 8th grade, but in 9th grade, a lot of the people that was above the sports, it was like you should probably focus on your academics, so I was able to continue that. So the thing was like when I went to high school, like I didn't even know what I wanted to do. Honestly, like I said, it took me getting to college to actually know what I wanted to do.
Right.
But like I said, in high school, what I did was basically, if it wasn't PE, if it wasn't anything kind of like active, I really didn't do nothing. Honestly, honestly speaking, like I said, a lot of the classes that I had didn't really have me excited except for PE. So it was kind of amazing that, you know, now I know what I want to do in life. But I would say probably Butler, even Butler too. Like I had PE, you know what I'm saying? If I had PE, it was just like, that's really it, you know?
I feel like that's how it goes. You don't like really know what you're doing in high school, but then like, I guess that's the teacher's job to kind of like mold you and make you figure out like what activities are fun and stuff like that. That way you hopefully choose something similar in college. That's what I feel like high school is sometimes. You're just there and you're just figuring it out, even with early college.
Mm-hmm. Right. And speaking of college, you know, this is kind of funny because the only reason how I know about your college is because of the game that I have in the room. If y'all know, I have NCAA, and if you mind mentioning, what's your college that you went to?
Yeah, you may have heard of it, but Sacramento State. Go Hornets, Stingers up.
So, just to let y'all know, I think she's the first. That was D1, right? That college is D1.
Probably. I didn't really honestly pay much attention to our sports, but I know our football team is huge, and they're always going up against UC Davis, which is another big school nearby. So they probably have a really good. They pour a lot of money into athletics. So yeah, it's probably D1.
Our first D1 attendee on the podcast. I think I could be wrong, but anyway. So yeah, you know, I've always been interested. You know, I knew about Sacramento State since I was young because of the podcast, not podcast, but because of my dad. Man, he had the NCAA. Oh wait, he had like all the NCAA games from PS2, and so I always got to see what Sacramento State is, but of course I don't know what the school is like. So tell me how the school is and your experience from being at Sacramento State.
Yes, Sac State is really cool. Appearance-wise, it's pretty beautiful. It's like got a lot of green, a lot of trees. It's like a very foresty kind of vibe. As far as like academics, it's pretty holistic. They offer almost everything like you could think of. There's various like writing, construction management, engineering, biology, physics, music, like literally every single subject. They almost teach it. Same goes for like their classes. They teach a lot of different things. Since they're a state school, they kind of focus on like teaching you everything. So like you have to learn a language in order to graduate. You have to do like a race class, like on ethnicity. You have to do a bunch of writing requirements. I mean, standard stuff, but they like to kind of teach you everything rather than like specifying on one thing. But I liked it. It was cool. It was very interesting. they're very big on community as well. They like to bring their students out, especially like their freshmen. They like them to get out and like kind of learn about the school and the campus and meet people. So I do like that aspect, that they're like big on like creating a culture within the school and like ramping up that school spirit. It's nice.
Right. Man, like I said, man, I've always thought about going to like a big school. You know, I never thought about actually going to school. But like if I had the choice of like continuing with football and actually getting like a scholarship, my schools would have been like Georgia, Bethune-Cookman. I actually made a AI kind of like thing where I had myself and my number in a football and a bunch of football teams, real jerseys,
Whoa.
and 5 different schools. You know what I'm saying? One of them being UAB, of course Georgia. That's my favorite team. Bethune-Cookman, Syracuse, I believe Jackson State too. I think that was one of them. Like I said though, for me, college has been fun. Like I said, my college journey has kind of been up and down. Most recently been up because, like I said, I've just been focusing more on my academics now, and just trying to stay away from certain people, stay away from certain friends, and just try to focus on the academic aspect. As for USC Aiken, I must say, USC Aiken as a campus, if you see, there's a bunch of trees here. That's one thing I do love about it. It's a bunch of trees. The building that I'm at right now is kind of like, you see there's like an indoor and something indoor here. We got a lot of stuff going on. Of course, I don't know if I'm able to, but if I turn it around, like you see a horse with water, and then like some meditation. That's my meditation spot. You know what I'm saying? The school is like a real good place. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, the environment, I'm not gonna kind of talk low on people. I wish the environment could have been a little bit better. But you know what I'm saying, it's like it is what it is at this point. I've been here for like 3 years, and so I understand what
physically the environment is like bad, or like just like academically, I guess, like it's toxic, or like what do you mean by like the thing is bad?
I'm just saying I kind of wish that they did a little bit more here. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, they don't really do too much, and I don't know if Roland's on here, like he can explain in the comments too, and tell you like, yeah, this is some stuff that that it seems kind of repetitive. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there should be other things that should be going on, like when it comes up to like Black History, or when it comes up to something like Valentine's Day, like we should want to learn more about the history of of that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just celebrating it by walking around or by doing something, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there should be more of more of an atmosphere that's like for those things, like particularly. As Roland said, he just said facts. So, like I said, man, the environment is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people here that's real good. There's real good teachers here. There's real good, people here. But then at the end of the day, like, every school has it. Everybody has. There's a lot of politics. There's a lot of, antics, a lot of stuff, So, like I said, outside of all that, the college experience has been real good. I've kind of grown into somebody in this video field. I actually will say that, I have enjoyed being here because it taught me a lot, for real. But yeah, so I must ask you, so what made you want to be, you were communications, right?
Film production, which is in the communications department, so kinda, yeah.
So what made you want to get into the film aspect of it?
Funnily enough, I actually didn't start out as a film major. I started out as a bio major because I wanted to be a veterinarian. Film was like always just like a hobby that I kind of liked in high school, and I was like, I don't want to make a career out of it, but it's just something I like to do for fun. I did the classes and the clubs, but I just couldn't like see myself doing it like long term. But then I took
Right.
biology in college, and I was like, man, this is a little rough. It's a little hard. Not as easy as high school. And so I was like kind of
Yeah,
thinking,
I'll do that.
yeah, STEM is hard. It's rough. I commend people who do STEM. But yeah, I was kind of just wandering around being like, well, if I don't major in something else, am I going to leave school? What am I going to do? And so I saw that my school had a film major. And I was like, oh, I didn't think about doing film. I liked it in high school. Maybe I should take a couple classes. And so I just switched my major and I took the like basic classes and just fell in love with it. And I was like, wow, I kind of like rediscovered a hobby essentially and was like, man, I didn't know I could do this like as a job or as a career. So I was like, I'm just going to try and do it and just go full force. So I went and got the degree and now I'm like wedging my way into the industry. But yeah, it's basically just a hobby that I didn't think anything would come of it, but something did come of it.
Right. Did you do any like films when you were in college? Did you do any films for the school or anything kind of related to filming?
Yeah,
There?
kind of, yeah. So a lot of my classes, the assignments were to like make your own film, collaborate with other students and make something. Outside of classes, I did do like a short media internship, like a sports media internship. So I would go out to different like sporting events that like the students were doing, and I would film them for like B-roll for them to be aired, I believe. I don't know. I never really got the footage, so I was just there to like film stuff. But I did do that. A lot of my work came after I graduated, but while I was on campus, I was able to make a few like short films and like a few practice things with like equipment and stuff.
What was your favorite film that you did?
Ooh, maybe my senior film, my thesis film. I was the audio person, so I got to like record all the audio and choose sound effects and stuff like that. Our film was called Figure It Out, and it was about a girl who was trying to figure out how to choose her major in college. And so we like did a lot of like fantasy elements and like kind of made each major based off of like a film genre. So like business was horror films, dance major was old Hollywood, stuff like that. And I had a lot of fun because it was my first time using audio equipment, so I got to really like showcase my work and like how much I had learned over the past few years. It was cool. I really liked it, and it came out beautifully. So something I'm really proud of.
That's good. So I'm gonna say this too because I'm kind of like for what I do at my job is kind of in that same field. It's a little bit different though because I don't do films. So we do a lot of graduations, right? We tend to do like a lot of graduations and stuff, and I work cameras. I know how to work a camera. I know how to do a lot of recordings. Of course, you know me well. I do a lot of editing videos and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you the funniest story that I've always go back to. So like I said, in college, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. The story kind of is crazy because my friend Roland, he actually was the reason why I got to college. And so like I said, I just didn't even know what I wanted to do when I came to college. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm kind of translating what happened, how I started the podcast to make this kind of like comparable to everything else that's been going on. But yeah, like one of my bosses, and he still one of the many people that I talk to today. He was just setting up something for a room, and we work with a lot of audio visual stuff. We work with a lot of camera work, a lot of microphones, a lot of audio things. So when that happened, we were just setting up, and they have a tendency at my job. Some people have a tendency to tell me to speak in the mic, right? So I was just speaking in the mic, and next thing you know, like this dude was like, "Hey, you need to start a podcast." And so then it was like from that day, from me actually starting podcasting to learning how to edit, to actually learning cameras and learning the rule of thirds, learning angles, learning how to position the camera, learning how to put it on a tripod and all that. Man, it's been beneficial for real, because it's actually helped me out in so many ways. I got to help out Mr. Israel with a skit he had his kids works his kids play basketball. Baseball, travel baseball,
Okay.
right? And so he was just like randomly called me one day. He was just like, "Well, hey, D, do you want to record something for me? Help me record something?" Man, it was one of the funnest things I've done because it was like, bro, I never thought I would get called to do a skit. So like I said, I've been able to do skits. I've been able to work over, I believe, I know in May of late May, we got to work like 9 graduations back to back for high school. I've done that twice. Roland could tell you too. We both worked over about like 20 graduations. And like I said, bro, it's been helping me out in so many ways because now I know everything. I know how to, I know how to use a camera. I know how to do things, man. It's actually been making me passionate to do this, So like I said, even though you're more filmmaking and I'm more like, I would say, more outside of the filming, it's like, man, it's fun because it becomes full circle.
Yeah.
Like unique. So ever since you left Sacramento State, like what's something that you've enjoyed, or let me say it like this, what's something you enjoyed most about your time being at Sacramento State?
I guess just figuring out like who I am as a person. I know it's gonna sound like kind of like vague and cliche, but really like college is a transformative place. Like whether it's like, learning what you want to do career wise or just like learning about yourself and what you like and just changing and growing as a person with your likes and dislikes. I think that's the biggest thing that I like. I guess choosing your major also helps kind of form an identity for you as well. But I think just that kind of that transition of going from like, high school to college and being an adult and just kind of like getting that experience and going out to meet new people. Even though I did stay in my hometown, I did meet lots of people who moved there for school. So it was nice to just get to experience a lot of different cultures and people and situations. But I think I'm grateful for the experience that it pushed me to go forward and kind of do more with my life, essentially.
Right. So now I must ask, since you've been out of Sacramento State, how long ago since it's been?
I guess almost a year and a half at this point. I graduated December 23. So yeah, like probably a year and some change.
That's good. So now I'm asking, because I know I keep saying since now you left, but since you have been gone from Sacramento State, what have you been doing since that point, like with filming?
So mostly I've been freelancing, which is essentially I get called for work and gigs as people need help. So thankfully I've done a lot of different areas. I've done live events, I've done commercials, I've done narrative films, I've done web content. So I've done a lot of different things, thankfully, in the past year. But mostly, just production assistant, which is the lower tier job. It's like the beginner job essentially. And with being a PA, it sometimes seems a little mundane because you're doing everyday tasks that other people could potentially do. But even though I'm doing stuff like that, I'm still getting to learn the industry. I'm basically getting paid to be on a set all day, which is, that's the life. That's fun. But I'm mostly just starting my resume, getting more work, meeting people, networking. I just recently scored a job as a media teacher for after school students. So I basically come in after school and I teach them about cameras or lighting or photography and stuff like that. So that's a little something that I'm adding to my repertoire recently. But I'm just hoping to just increase my resume more and just add to what I've already done.
Right. Okay, so now this is going to be a kind of a question because I actually do want to learn. So can you teach me cameras? If you had to teach someone how to learn a camera, teach me.
Okay, so I'm not the hugest camera person. I do know how to work a camera. I can do basic stuff, but I'm not a super cinematographer or anything. But if I were to teach somebody, I'd be all right, a camera is similar to your eyeball. It does all the same functions. The same way that you get closer to something, the more in focus something is. Same way if you get farther away, it gets blurry. You can lighting also affects your eyes. Like, let's say you go out into the bright light, your pupil is going to get smaller. You're going to restrict the light that's coming in, and vice versa if you're going outside. A camera works the exact same way. Light affects the way the lens opens and closes and how the picture looks, essentially. I would just teach them kind of like the basic way. The camera is like the soul of the video. You have to be able to maneuver it and adjust it slightly and kind of make it appear to how a person would see it, if that makes sense. Because cameras are kind of,
Right.
for lack of a better word, they're kind of dumb. They just do whatever when you turn them on. But it's up to the person, the cinematographer, to kind of play with the settings and make it look normal or not normal, if that's your style. But I would just tell the best way to learn cameras is to play around with it. Just record anything, try all the buttons, and just see what works and what doesn't, and then you'll kind of like learn it. It's like a hands-on thing, if that makes sense.
Right. I didn't need to learn that. I'm just,
Right, you gotta
just for
test
someone,
me. You gotta see if I know what I'm talking about.
No, I ain't checking you. I know you got it. So I must ask, because this is something we normally do. I normally ask some people about life talk, because this is, this is part of our podcast. What we try to do, we try to bring positivity towards people, because, the world needs to be a more positive place. So, if you had to give advice on how to grow in life, what would be that advice?
Ooh, I would always say, as dark as it may seem now, it's going to be a much brighter in the future. So basically, things may seem bad now, but they can get so much worse and so much better. So you just kind of have to keep going, keep trucking. It may seem kind of like you're stuck sometimes, but the best way to grow is to get out there and try and just learn and see if there's going to be a different outcome the next day. Because you never know what happens. Life is very fluid and it changes. So you just got to keep working at it and keep doing what you're doing. And something will come of it. It will.
Right. I must say, because I don't normally do this, but at least for this time, I would say, like how you said, just don't think of nothing bad. Try to step forth. You know what I'm saying, and what you're trying to do. What I would say is this week, try your best to learn something out of what you failed at. Because at the end of the day, we all fail, and it's not bad to fail. It is bad to fail, but it's not bad if you're trying your best and then failing.
Right. As long as you learn.
As long as you learn. I would say this honestly, like, a lot of stuff has been going on with like my schoolwork, right? And teachers, some teachers just tend to not care, and some teachers actually do care, but it's just one of those teachers that just pushes aside everything, right? And I'm not trying to make nothing personal, but what I've learned is, as long as you keep trying, they will keep doing stuff for you, right? As long as you keep trying your best to try to prove to them or try to prove to yourself that you are capable of doing something, you are willing to. I mean, you're gonna be up there. You know what I'm saying? So, to the people that's watching, just don't feel distracted. Don't be distracted, and don't feel like you have to have something set that day and have it all done. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. And as long as you're giving effort, you know what I'm saying, it should be a good deal at the end of the day.
Agree.
So just try your best. You know what I'm saying? It's a long
firm believer of like what you put out is what you get back. So like if you're working hard and you're trying to improve and you're trying to do what you can, that's going to come back to reward you in the future at some point for sure.
Right. So again, like how you said it right on the spot. What goes around comes around. So you give it 100%, you're gonna get back 100%.
Exactly.
Back zero. If you give it back 50%, it's gonna come back 50%. So like I said, y'all, just continue to be great. Continue to know. Continue just to find your purpose in life. Because you all have purposes. We all have purposes in our own lives. We must just believe, you know, believe in what God's gonna do, you know. Like I said, it's been a blessing to grow up into something, you know. And like I said, it's just blessing. It's really a blessing. It's a blessing, you know. So I got another
Yeah.
question to ask you. Um, so what is something that you have enjoyed most about your own life? I don't know if I asked that question again, but um, hopefully I didn't, because
No,
I
I don't
tend to have memory
think
loss.
you did. I don't think you
But
did. And sorry, what was the question?
um,
What's something I've enjoyed about what?
about life
Oh, about
recently.
life. I guess being able to like focus a little bit more on my hobbies. There was a moment where I just wasn't able to like do the things I enjoyed. Like I felt just like work, school, or work. So being able to like to have the ability to like spend time with myself and like do the things I really enjoy, like writing, reading, embroidery. That's been like a nice healing experience essentially, and just kind of being able to focus on myself. That's one thing I've been enjoying about life pretty recently.
Right. That's good. I must say, you know, what I've been enjoying about life recently is, like I said, just nature.
Nature, yeah.
You know, just being able to see trees and being able to feel wind. You know, being able to look at the night sky. Right. You know, it's just a lot of stuff that I enjoy about, you know, about this life thing, or this thing called
Yeah.
life. You know, it's kind of crazy. You know, it's kind of crazy that we tend to have we tend to like just look past the little things, you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, even though you see a tree, you know, you're looking at it, you're like, bro, this is not really
Right.
important, you know. Like for me, trees are essential, you know, to me, because I can radiate off of it, I can feel it, you know, feel the energy off of it, and you know, it's just a blessing. Again, like I said, it's just a good vibe to be feeling like, you know, that you're one with nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been enjoying most about life. Um, so is there any questions you got for me, or no?
Man, I don't know. I didn't come prepared.
Yeah, I've been trying to have people to kind of ask me questions, because you know, I had a girl on the podcast and her name was Sasha, and she came in like with I didn't think she was gonna come in with questions, but she came in just strapped up with
Dang.
questions, and
She said
so
it's my turn.
I was just, you know,
She said
huh?
it's my turn to interview you.
Yes. She was just like, she just straight up was like, "Hey, I'm about to ask you like 4 questions," and I was like, "Dang." So, like I said, because I've been, you know, you might want to know something about me or not, you know.
Well,
I don't know. Some people, hmm?
I don't know if someone's asked you this yet, but what has been like your favorite part about doing this podcast so far? Like, what have you gained from it?
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't think no one ever asked me that
Okay,
question.
cool.
I know people really ask that question. People ask the question of like how long you've been doing it, or what made you want to do it. But my favorite part of the podcast is like when I have, you know, it comes in 2 ways, right? Actually, it's like 3 things. I'll probably try to spend like 3 minutes on each one. Um, so the main thing is like me and my boys. You know what I'm saying? We are able to actually talk about sports like we do in the outside world. You know what I'm saying? We try to keep it 1,000%, you know, honest. You know, that's one thing I do love about this podcast.
Right.
Like we all keep it real. We all keep it like honest. We're not trying to act like a certain way to try to impress people or to try to get people to follow us. And you know what I'm saying? We're taking time with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just a blessing, you know, that to know that I have my boys doing a podcast episode with me, because I already know I can't do this by myself. And I must say that you know, me and Roland, December 16th of 22, you know, we made that commitment, but we didn't know where it was gonna go. So where it went from there on the way up to now, you know, almost doing it 3 years or going on 3 years.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? The progress of me doing this with my boys is it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? I really can't do this without them. Another thing is Man, I just enjoy, like I said, having special guests on the podcast. Like, honestly, 2 years ago, or when I started this, I didn't think that people would want to be on. I honestly think people would want to actually be around because I know I know how I am. And I honestly, at one point, thought that people would just be on. If people would want to be on, it would be on because of, they would want to be on because of, something about themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which some people may do, but I honestly don't care enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna be selective of who was gonna be on a podcast. There's always people always asking me like, hey, I want to be on the podcast, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I have so many people that ask me, and I just got to Jerry last week. And Jerry asked me like 7-8 months ago to be on the podcast. And so, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just the excitement of having my people, having my own people sometimes wanting to be on, and also just having, people that's willing to conversate with me, even though I'm not the best host at all. I ain't gonna lie, I tend to struggle a lot with this.
You're doing pretty good so far.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just like I said, it's just the support, man. The supporters, the people that actually wants to be on, the people that motivates me every day to be doing podcast episodes, people who are interested, people who wants to listen to me and just goof off with my boys, and then also just again wanting to hear people talk and have good conversations with other people that I might not know. Like I said, I've only known you for almost going on a year now.
Crazy,
So it's kind of like, just building friendships, building bonds with people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this for view. I'm not doing this for followers. You know what I'm saying? The followers will be there, but it's more like, I'm just doing this because I love doing it. I love talking to people. That's one thing people don't understand. Because I'm very quiet. People make it seem like I'm not gonna talk, but I'm very talkative. And like I said, I love talking to people. The third thing I say is, again, just like the support. You know what I'm saying? People really be out here, like I say, asking me like, hey, when am I gonna post the next episode? Hey, when am I gonna be on? Hey, let's do this, you know what I'm saying? And then having people like Roland telling me like, hey, you're doing a good job doing this. You're doing a good job doing that. Hey, you're being consistent. You know what I'm saying? It's just the motivation and the support that people been giving me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, I would have never thought this. I've always been the type of cat that will always think the opposite of what people think. So if they spoke positive about something, it will always come out to be like, well, they just saying it just because of this. And then, sometimes they'll be like, sometimes, man, they just want to be on, but only just to support themselves. They ain't really going to care afterwards. They ain't really going to talk to me afterwards. But it's not even that, bro. Everyone that has been, I'll say this, outside of one group of people, everyone has been cool with me, man. I built friendships with people I don't even know. Like, I had Keith on there, and if y'all know Keith, man, Keith is a good dude. He's a real good dude, and I didn't even know him. It was like Roland had asked him if he wanted to be on, and we had a good podcast episode that day. That was like 2 years ago going on, and I've been friends with Keith since that time. So, like I said, I build connections with people. You know what I'm saying? With friendships, I get to learn about people. I get to learn their perspectives on things, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not, like I said, I'm not perfect and I'm not the best host, but at least if I can grow from learning how other people speak or learn from other people, this podcast thing isn't only just to learn about you, but it's just to be like, okay, well, so this is what you love to do. And then I'm also learning, like how you said, how you do film and cameras and stuff, I want to be able to, maybe when I get older, I might want to learn how to do film with stuff like that, or you could probably teach me how to do film, or someone else could teach me how to do film. And it's just like, that's the best thing about it. I know Serenity about to say something crazy. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just the best thing about doing this podcast, you know what I'm saying? I've had so much fun through these 2 years, grown so much into this podcast. Like I said, I don't think this podcast thing was just for a reason. I mean, it was just here just randomly. I think it was here for a reason. And said, bro, I will continue, even if, like I said, this studio thing, bro, this summer, no one's gonna stop me. Summer's no one's gonna stop me from doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because we gonna go crazy in the summer. When I get all the stuff, when I get my computer back, when I get my audio stuff, you know, it's all gonna be good.
Wait to see it.
But that was a good question.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to get like a good answer out of you.
Yeah. Do you have one more at least, or no?
I guess, what's been your favorite activity to do recently?
It can't be podcasting, huh?
No, it can't be podcasting, unfortunately.
Okay, so, all right. So that's a hard question.
Really?
See, yeah, because the thing is like outside of podcasting and editing, I really, like, I play my game, I watch sports, but I mean, it's kind of like nothing internal, like, to myself. I must say though that what I've enjoyed most about recently is like I said, just this build up to like the banquet that I got about that. You know what I'm saying? I've had a lot of people kind of just calling me, just let me know some encouraging stuff. I've also, like I said, been playing my games way too much. And like I said, I've been enjoying it. I found out that I got to do cheat codes. I can do cheat codes on the game. And so I've been doing cheat codes like crazy. So outside of really the games, you know, outside of really like stuff of that nature, I really don't know what's been like, I don't know what's been like that kind of excitement or that joy that I've been having recently. Outside of, like I said, nature, outside of like just chilling with certain friends, I got really nothing else to like really feel excited for, or, you know.
Hey, maybe you can take some time to figure it out.
Right. I could. It's not hard. It's just like I said, it's with school, like how you mentioned earlier, like school work, not really having enough time to be to myself, to spend time with myself, and to, you know, do stuff my way outside of, like, if I was to do a podcast episode, that's one way I enjoy. I just kind of separate myself from everything. And then, like I said, you know, just when my boys call me, OG, Roland, when he asks me, calls me, our conversations on the phone, just a little things, just those conversations. Really, that's it.
Nice.
So this is where I'll end it, because I know that I gotta I don't know if Instagram is gonna live. It's gonna end soon. I know it says like an hour.
Okay.
But do you got anything you want to say, or, you know, anything just to end this off?
Well, yeah, I wanted to say thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. This is actually my first time doing a podcast, so, you know, this is a great experience. But yeah, really grateful to be on here and be able to talk about myself, which I don't get to do often. So it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Of course. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know too. If I'm able to, I pray to God that I'm able to do this. But if I'm able to, I will download this and I will put it on YouTube. But, you know, I'm gonna edit it. You know what I'm saying? I have to edit it because it won't feel right if I just kind of just did that. You know what I'm saying? W-Pot. Yep. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if y'all want to do alternative podcasts like this too, if y'all want to live stream podcast, you know what I'm saying? It feels weird, let's be real. But if you want to be a part of this live stream podcast thing, man, we can do this too. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad at all. You know, we can talk like this. If anyone ever wants to be on a podcast and just want to do some talk about whatever, you know what I'm saying, y'all can. Don't ever feel like you have to be on certain apps, or you have to be on Instagram in order for you to do it, or you have to be at this school to do it. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get everybody across America to be on here. So
that's the way to do it.
With that said, Yeah, so with that being said, again, thank you so much, Jordan. Jordan,
Yep.
right? Okay, I didn't want to declare your name because I always thought Jordy for some reason. I've been watching too much
Well, no,
football.
honestly, on Instagram, my
That
name
one
doesn't have the N on there, so it does just say Jordy, but Jordan, yeah.
but yeah, again, y'all make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Hopefully, if I'm able to, I will be downloading this and try to put it on YouTube, just so I can download it and edit it. If not, then hell, we still gonna have this podcast on the live stream. The live stream on the Instagram, and so you still can watch it, share it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying. Y'all let me know who wants to be next on the podcast episode. And yeah, with that being said, Jordy, again, thank you so much. I'm gonna call you after this. Appreciate y'all for watching. Love y'all. And you remember, and I need you to say this with me. I don't know if you know, but we have it slowly called "Always Stay Locked In" at the end of the episode.
All right, bet.
So 3, 2, 1.
Always stay locked in.
Always stay locked in. Thank y'all so much for watching. And we're out.
Bye.